As the 2027 general election draws near, the African Democratic Congress, also known as the ADC, has fired a blunt warning shot. In a direct message to Labour Party's 2023 presidential candidate, Peter Obi, the party insists zoning is off the table and urges him to take a clear stand. With political alignment shifting and parties repositioning ahead of the polls, the ADC statement is more than rhetoric. It raises a sharp question about opposition strategy, regional expectation, and the broader context for power in the nation's volatile political chessboard. Well, joining me right now to discuss this and more is Bolaji Abdullahi, is the National Publicity Secretary of the ADC. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Good evening.
All right. So let me, of course, get straight to it. Your party has downplayed the idea or the concept of zoning. I mean, this was a direct, what I call a response to the Labour Party presidential candidate, His Excellency Peter Obi, saying that that is not a priority for now. And this is raising questions. And maybe even in some quarters, decision. Why is that? Why is zoning, even though we know it's not a law, it's an unwritten sort of agreement, that a certain region rules for a certain time and then it shifts? Why is ADC not hell-bent on that at the moment?
Well, thank you very much. Let me first start by saying that because in your introductory remark, you said that ADC is saying that zoning is off the table. We're not saying that zoning is off the table. We are only saying that we've not got to the point where we will mainstream conversation around zoning. You will agree with me that it's also a matter of political strategy. What is most important, like we've continued to say, is that, and I'm glad that His Excellency Peter Obi has also repeatedly maintained that the coalition is not out just to grab power. The most important consideration that we have is how do we give hope to Nigerians? How do we convince Nigerians that we are out to give politics a meaning and to serve the interest of the people? In the last 10 years or so, we've seen how people's hopes have been dashed by after a plethora of promises. Now we are coming up. Many of us are also we're also part of that system. So the biggest challenge that we face at the moment is probably how to convince Nigerians that we represent the alternative. That is one. Two, how to build our structure across the country. You'll agree with me that even though the African Democratic Congress has existed since 2005, this is the first time they are playing in the big league. And the challenge for us is how to build a structure that will make it a formidable fighting machine, electorally speaking, by 2027. So in the midst of all this burden that we carry as a political party, learning to jump and run at the same time as we learn to walk. You will agree with me that when we start that journey by prioritizing the issue of zoning, it may actually cause the kind of destabilization that Peter Obi is talking about.
Talking about
destabilization. We're not saying that we don't have that conversation, but we are saying that it's not a priority at this time.
Talking about a political strategy, because you also said that it's a political strategy of some sort for you. Could that strategy also be to maybe what many might be speculating, that since Nigeria's former vice president and, of course, a multiple-time presidential candidate of People's Democratic Party, who has now left the PDP to the ADC, I'm talking about His Excellency Atiku Abubakar, since he's now a member of your party, is the strategy to, at some point, maybe hand him the flag bearer ticket?
No. ADC, if you read the constitution of ADC, and we are very serious about this, we are not a party that will hand ticket to anybody. So anybody saying that this is being done because of somebody is either being mischievous or they really don't understand what we're trying to do. We know, look, all these other political parties that you've seen collapse, whether it's PDP or Labour Party or any of these other political parties that have had issues, You can trade. Yes, the government has had a hand in what has happened to many of these political parties, but they have also been victimized by their own internal contradictions and some of the things they've done. And many of the people who are in ADC today have learned lessons from that previous experience. So we're trying to build a new political party that is rooted in a philosophy of internal democracy and internal of transparency of electoral process. So anybody that is saying that, oh, we are doing this because we want to hand Bolaji Abubakar or anybody else ticket as a matter of fact, they don't understand what we're trying to do. We strongly appeal to His Excellency Peter Obi. Let him join the party and multiply our options as party members. We want to have different people who are able to contest at the highest level in our party. And then we as party members will now decide who is the best position to win us election, or is in the best position to represent the kind of leadership that we want to give to Nigerians. We can't continue the way we have always done. That's one consensus that we've all had. So it's not about handing anybody ticket. It's about everybody showing commitment to this coalition and joining us in building a real political party.
Sorry to interrupt you. Mr. Abdullahi, sorry to interrupt you, but why do you think Mr. Peter Obi is stalling?
I wouldn't know. Maybe that's a question that you need to ask Mr. Peter Obi himself, because while we're trying to build a coalition, the agreement was that everybody was going to join the coalition, and he himself agreed that he was going to be part of the coalition. And some of us were particularly impressed the day he himself and Bolaji Abubakar separately vowed that regardless of what happened, they are part of the coalition. So we're all excited and all that. Then when it came to leaving the legacy parties, His Excellency Peter Obi and His Excellency Nasiru El-Rufai asked for more time for them to conclude the elections in their respective legacy parties. That is the Afghan and SDP respectively. The elections in Kaduna, the by-elections in Kaduna have been concluded, and Nasiru El-Rufai had done what he promised to do, which was to register for ADC. The election in Anambra is done, so we also expect that His Excellency Peter Obi will do what he promised to do. So we are a bit, it's like throwing us a curveball when we are hearing conversations like, oh, the coalition is not stable because we are not addressing the issue of zoning and all that. So we believe that some of these issues maybe they are information that are available to him. That's.
Mr. Bolaji Abdullahi, can you hear me? We seem to have lost connection with you. All right, let's, okay, I think we have you back. We lost you for a moment. If you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly. I can hear you clearly.
All right, great. So now, you've, of course, have asked His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi to take a stand, join the party. Is there a time frame for this wait?
No, there's no time frame. But
so you are saying it can continue maybe even into the next election. It can continue to consult.
He has the freedom to decide how he wants to run his politics. For us, we have a party to build, we have a party to run, we'll continue to do what we need to do. We're happy for him to make a firm commitment to the coalition. But if he doesn't want to, this democracy, we can't force anybody. People have the right to say, okay, I thought I could be part of this, but I don't want to be part of it anymore for whatever reason. That is fine, but we have to continue to move on. But I'm telling you, as I speak to you this evening, I'm confident that His Excellency Peter Obi is part of the coalition. He's still part of the coalition. He's a gentleman. He has not told us anything different from what he has told us, regardless of what is playing out in the media, because sometimes politicians also say some things to pander to their followership, regardless of what they know to be the truth, or what they want to, how they portray themselves behind closed doors. There are a lot of conversations that still happening.
So you think Mr. Peter Obi is stalling? You think Mr. Peter Obi might just be stalling just to pander to his followership, just like you have insinuated?
No, I don't think so. I was just saying that there are different levels of conversations, and some of them, public conversation is just one level. There are other levels of conversation that are not in the public domain.
Right.
So I'm saying that sometimes people make conversations in public to pander to public opinion or to pander to public desire without necessarily, meaning that they are stalling or going back on what they have promised to do.
All right. So quickly, let's assume Mr. Peter Obi decides to join your party, that's the ADC. So you have the former vice president of the country, His Excellency Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, and then, of course, the former governor of Anambra State and presidential candidate of the Labour Party in 2023, Peter Obi. Who becomes president? Who becomes vice? Who will the party hand over the tickets to?
You see, you are getting it wrong. It's not about the party handing over anything.
I'm just trying to mirror what Nigerians are thinking.
No, the assumption here is that it's going to be either or both of them. There are other people. There are other people that may probably have not even come out now to say they are interested.
Other people like
His Excellency Rotimi Amechi, the former governor of Rivers State, is there. There are so many other people that will come out later. So don't let us reduce this into either Peter Obi or Atiku Abubakar. For us, we are committed. Like I told you earlier, and like I repeatedly maintain, there are two possibilities here. One is that we're able to negotiate a consensus. The other one is that we're not able to negotiate a consensus, then we'll go to full-blown primaries, elective, competitive primaries, and whoever wins carries the day. But we are also sensitive to the nuances of zoning and all that. But we are saying all of these will come to play at the right time. But we are saying that this is not the time. This is not the time. That's what we are saying. We are not saying that we are ruling it out. Whether we are going to zone or not to zone, we are not saying that it's not part of considerations that we have.
I mean, we
are saying that it is not our priority at this time.
I mean, Nigerians would like to know which other people are interested. You just mentioned, of course, a former minister and also a former governor of Rivers State, Rotimi Amechi. Who else, again, might be interested for the top job?
I mean, those are the three that I know. I mean, you can't rule out that there are other people who may also come out and show interest.
Is, of course, former Kaduna State Governor El Rufai also interested?
It's possible, but he has not said he's interested, and I will also say he's not interested, so it's possible.
Let's move away from, of course, the party now. Let's talk about Osun State, where Governor Ademola Adeleke has, of course, defected or resigned from the People's Democratic Party. Is the ADC looking to have him?
I mean, if he wants to come to ADC will welcome him. But we are not going to go about scrambling for. You see, because like we said, for us the most important thing, and this is very serious for us, we want to build a real political party. We are conscious that the political elite generally are more or less discredited. The most important task we have is how do we convince Nigerians that we are about to play a different kind of politics. That's the biggest challenge that we have. So it's not about hustling and falling over ourselves and looking for easy opportunity here and there. No. If Governor Ademola Adeleke of Osun State wants to join the ADC, we'll consider him. We'll consider his the possibility of him coming into the party. It's going to add value to our party, no doubt. But if he doesn't come, we're not going to go after the car begging him to come. The ADC is open to all kinds of coalitions and alliances. So that possibility is there.
All right. Let's move the conversation right now from politics to security in the country. In the last few weeks, since the U.S. declared Nigeria a state of particular concern, we've seen a surge in attacks, in abductions, in kidnappings and all. Looking at how the Tinubu administration is managing and handling all of these scenarios, as an opposition party, would you say that the Tinubu administration is on top of its game?
No, we don't think they are on top of the game. No, we don't think so. We believe that we agree with that they have responded more effectively since Donald Trump made that comment. But the question we also ask ourselves is, why did it have to take Donald Trump making a comment like that for the government of Nigeria to know that they needed to do those things that they are rolled out, that they are going to do since Donald Trump made the comment that he made. Like someone said that Nigeria's history under Tinubu is before Trump and after Trump. So why in the pre-Trump era, why didn't the government do all those things that they are now running around and helter-skelter and trying to do, and declaring a state of emergency, whatever that means? Because since they say they declared a state of emergency, we have not seen anything. Nothing has changed substantially in real time. Anybody entering Nigeria today cannot tell you that this country is anything has changed in Nigeria. There is no heightened level of security alertness. They don't see anything that tells you that as a matter of fact, most of us tend to forget that President Bola Tinubu is the fourth elected president in Nigeria, in Nigerian history, to declare a nationwide state of emergency. Now, what does that really mean? So sometimes you have a feeling that some of these declarations were just made for the headlines, because in real terms, nothing has happened. Two, they say they are rescuing the people that have been abducted. Yes, we know there are no easy answers. Sometimes you have to make a choice between rescuing the people that are kidnapped, attacking the kidnappers, and bringing them to justice. But we have said that yes, it's good that these people have returned to have been retrieved and returned to their families. But we said government is playing a very dangerous game by negotiating with kidnappers, because when you do that, yes, it gives you good headlines that you have retrieved or rescued, as they like to say, rescued the kidnapped victims. But in the end, what you are doing is you are fueling the kidnapping economy. Because you are giving opportunities for these people to return and do more.
Just to get this out, so what alternative avenues would you suggest, or would you have recommended that they explored?
No, I'm saying that there are no easy answers. But what I'm saying is that it's possible to it's possible to recover the kidnapped victims and still bring the perpetrators to justice. You cannot say that the only option is to negotiate with kidnappers and leave them roaming free and leave them alone to continue to kidnap. Look at what happened in my state, Kwara State. After retrieving the 28 people that were kidnapped in the church, and by whatever means, the following day they just moved on to another village in the same local government and abducted 10 more people. So that's what we are saying. We are saying that it is possible for government. Government have the capacity, government have the resources to retrieve the kidnapped victims and still bring the perpetrators to justice. So we are saying that it's possible to do the two at the same time. But the strategy that favors just recovering the victims and saying thank you very much for cooperating and allowing the perpetrators to go on to continue their business is not sustainable. It is dangerous, and it is reinforcing the economy of banditry. So that is one dimension to it. Another dimension, we are particularly against the closure of schools because of this kidnapping and insecurity. Because by closing down, especially the 47 unity schools, by shutting down those schools, government is giving the impression that it cannot protect children in just 47 schools across the country. So
you are saying it would have been okay. Sorry, you are saying that it would have been okay to still leave the schools open in spite of the security scare and concerns.
Absolutely, we believe that government has the capacity to protect those children.
While
we believe that
while they are still in school and we are seeing all of the abductions, the school should still run.
But you are talking as if the only option left to government is to close down the schools. A government that panders to, you see, what we are seeing is inadvertently bandits and Boko Haram are reshaping the future of Nigeria, because every single day that you keep these children out of school, you are validating the ideology of banditry and the ideology of Boko Haram. Are you telling me that Nigeria does not have the capacity to protect 47 schools across the country? Is our government betraying vulnerability by saying that we cannot protect our children? Okay, let me ask you, you close down the schools and you send the children home. So what happened to the children while they are in their homes? You are saying that you cannot protect them, or it's okay that they are under the care of their children and they can be abducted from their homes as long as they are no longer in your direct care? Is that what you are saying? You see, some of these things are not well thought through, and we are saying that the government of Nigeria should send those children back to school and protect those children. Because when we are losing so many things. You cannot keep children out of schools because of bandits. You have a responsibility to protect these children wherever they are. I mean, so by saying that you cannot protect them and the only solution is to close down the schools is not what a government that is serious about what needs to be done is doing. They rolled out over measures like recruiting some not 20,000 number of policemen and all that. Look, you don't build your army when the war has already started. The government know what to do. Look at the decisiveness with which they have to put down the coup in Benin Republic. So decisiveness, they applied it in dealing with banditry in Nigeria, this will have become history. So what we are saying, that government knows what to do. What they lack is the political will to do the right thing. That's what they lack. Because
Mr. Abdullahi, I'm going to ask you a direct question. It's also thinking of 2027 election. Mr. Abdullahi,
to politicians.
I'm going to ask you a direct question. Do you think that Nigeria's security architecture has been infiltrated?
I mean, I'm not in a position to know, but what I'm saying is that whatever we call architecture is no longer working, is no longer serving the purpose we want it to serve. That's all I can say.
Does that include the recent, does your logic also include the recent retooling of Mr. President, will I call it security chiefs? We saw recently where he changed the security chiefs and then the Minister of Defense.
It goes beyond, look, it goes beyond just changing security chiefs and removing one minister and all that. It goes beyond that. There are fundamentals. Okay, let's talk about the policemen. Do you know the state of the condition? In the last 10 years or so, Nigeria has also been recruiting officers. We've been recruiting ASPs. They are not rank and files. Nigeria is not recruiting policemen who actually go out there and fight, where we have been graduating ASPs, officers. So you see some of these things, the entire structure has been deformed by many years of decay. So if we want to deal with the issue, we deal with the fundamentals. I'm not saying that, okay, it is good for the headline, you are removing this person, it shows their body language is in a particular direction, but in real terms, what is going to change? So when the war has already started, that's when you want to start training your own soldiers for the war. And don't forget there's a provision in the Police Act that says that when you train a policeman, you cannot carry a weapon until after 2 years. I'm sure you know that. So they will find a way around it. But the point I'm making is that whether it's the soldiers or it's the policemen, and the kind of security challenge that we face, we hardly have the capacity to deal with it. Our officers, our soldiers, our security men, we're not trained for this kind of asymmetric warfare. So yes, our soldiers are making a lot of sacrifices. The question is, are they actually, some of them are stretched so thin that they are tired. They have been kept in the front for so many years that they are tired, they are exhausted, the morale is down. So the government has to do a lot more than what we are seeing. So, and I'm glad you used the word, you used the word architecture. It is the entire system that needs to change, because what we are facing is different from direct warfare against external enemies, which is the primary objective of the military. It's different from just internal policing issues.
All right, Mr. Bolaji Abdullahi. Thank you so much. We need to go on a quick break. When we return, we'll be going back to, of course, our politics ahead of the 2027 election. As an opposition party, what's the strategy? Stay with us. We'll be right back. Many thanks for staying with us. It's still Politics HQ on News Central Television. I still have my guest, Mr. Bolaji Abdullahi, National Publicity Secretary of the ADC. He joins me virtually. Thank you for staying with me. All right, now let's go back. Great. Let's go back to politics ahead of 2027. I mean, as an opposition party, we are seeing a lot that is happening, particularly within some of the other opposition parties. You made reference to the PDP, for instance. We are seeing quite a couple of them having their own internal issues. The PDP, and a few others. Now, my question is, the ADC, the new kid on the block, not a new kid per se, but at least when it comes to the frontline gladiators right now.
The last man standing.
So the ADC is there. So what is the ADC doing to ensure it has its house put in order? Because when we look at the makeup of some members of your party, they are strong previous office holders. Many are asking the question, how do you manage political ego? How do you manage political ambition of these persons? How do you manage interest? How does the ADC not end up like some other political parties that are sandwiched in several crises?
Well, I mean, the fundamental principle is very clear and surprisingly very simple and straightforward, which is justice. Any political party whose internal democracy is not transparent and obviously just and equitable in a manner that gives confidence to every member that is seeking to use the platform to realize their political goals, then that party is digging its own grave. So we are confident that we have the leadership in our party that is committed to justice, to fairness, and to equity, which is a fundamental principle in this conversation about who emerges and who does not emerge. So we are optimistic that once we are able to guarantee that, then we stand a reasonable chance of avoiding the kind of instability or destabilization that you are talking about.
All right, just before I let you go in one word, what's your response to those that think that the ADC is a joke?
Then let them enjoy the comedy. We'll meet in 2027.
Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Bolaji Abdullahi, National Publicity Secretary of the ADC. Thank you once again.